In enough of the PPP great news, idle great news, I passed through the 7 levels of candy cane forest, through the sea of swirly twirly gumdrops, and then I walked through the Lincoln Tunnel. Fairy tales of SBA, everybody's getting PPP, everybody's getting idle. It's not happening. How do I know? Because I'm sitting in on the committee hearings to this. How do you know? Because you're getting the condensed version of me sitting in the committee hearings with this. So we got to be on to them by now. We got to be like, well, if everybody else is getting their money now, why am I not getting my money now? The truth is because really not everybody's getting their money right now. This just yesterday.
I could talk to everyone about this, but I want to get to these error codes as well. Time is of the essence. Everything, these businesses are literally holding on by the day. It's important, and applications have been checked for errors and inconsistencies that could show fraud. But oftentimes, as has been earlier noted, that there are sometimes flags that go up that are not fraud, but maybe a clerical error or something like that. Ms. Simpson, I'll turn to you. You talked about how many applications have been flagged incorrectly, and how it's hard. Business losing a week or even 2 weeks could be the difference between getting through this pandemic or not. Any thoughts you have on how we can accelerate the process, not of making it easier for people to abuse the system, but making it easier for people who are incorrectly flagged to get through the system and get the support and assistance they need?
And you know what, Mr. Brad Schneider, you did not get a very good answer on that. You got wheel around like the SBA usually does with their little, I don't know, maybe we could do more. Maybe we could do more. Respectfully, Congressman Brad Schneider, the answer for that is to call up the person who's got the application and say, are you a fraud? Why does this application have this? Okay, we'll change it. Click. Within a minute, we can clear up the red flag. It's that easy. Is the government so detached from the small business community out there that they can't come forward with some practical common sense ideas, thinking that we do have brains and we know how to work? It would be confident for us too, as small business people, to be able to talk to our lender, to be able to say, yes, I am a small businessman. I am in this much need of help, and here's my everything. I could talk to them. We can do this. We are intelligent people. We can do this together. Don't try figuring it out by yourself, SBA, because you don't have what it takes. You don't have the inside scoops to this. You have testimonies from people who are trying to make a dime on it, and you don't have testimonies from the actual people like me and like my listeners out there who have boots in the ground on this small businesses, in the small businesses. You want answers? Call us. That's all you need to do. We need this loan. We need the money. We need the PPP. We need the lenders. We need the idle grants. We need this money right now, and you're not giving it to us. What do we have to do as small business owners to get this? Next event.
Okay. So with that, let me take this opportunity to thank all our witnesses for their illuminating.
We heard about the roadblocks, the hiccups, the difficulties that folks have faced, and I'm kind of interested to start off with in whether or not Ms. Kennedy and Ms. Simpson, if you could kind of talk a little bit about the second draw restrictions, whether it's too restrictive for the folks that you all are seeing, and then also as a follow-up, and this can be for anybody, the major challenges that we're seeing that are slowing down the loan applications.
Thank you so much. I would, on the second draw restrictions, I think that the guidelines were very reasonable, and certainly this second rollout of PPP really made a difference in helping the communities that needed the most service. The change with the Schedule C has been really significant, and I can't emphasize enough, time is not on our side, and so the time to help these businesses that are Schedule C to get the funds to underserved communities, that, quite frankly, are the greatest impacted in the pandemic if you look at the numbers for economically disadvantaged communities and rural communities to be able to get access to these resources. And the Schedule C change will make a significant difference. And I will say to you, in response to your last question, the errors and the holds have been a real challenge. There was a kind of a magic wand after the February 24th changes were made that helped to remove some of the errors, but the resources, the competent staff to help people address those errors is really what's slowing down the process.
What? Did she just say what I think she said? The competent staff, not having a competent staff is slowing down the process. Now, what have we all been saying out there? I talked to this SBA agent and they don't have a clue. Can you repeat that?
Changes were made that helped to remove some of the errors, but the resources, the competent staff to help people address those errors is really what's slowing down the process. And with this looming deadline, it could absolutely cripple the program and small businesses from getting the help that they need if we don't get that addressed.
And so there we are. Now we've all been saying that from the beginning that the staff isn't able to help us with our needs because they don't really know exactly what to do. So I'm not trying to be rude. We're not trying to be rude saying the staff is incompetent. We're just trying to keep it real, saying they can't help us with what we're trying to deal with here. Because I don't know, they just haven't been, a lot of them are just too young and haven't been through the ringer or don't really know how small businesses operate. So that's where we're at with that. Now, another gentleman comes forth, another congressman comes forth and brings up another issue with the PPP program and maybe this is a reason why a lot of you aren't seeing your money as well. This is Congressman Andy Kim.
Maybe follow up with Ms. Kennedy or Ms. Frazier. As small lenders, have you helped any customers with first draw increases? Just trying to get a sense of your perspective from your end.
We have tried to help small businesses with first draw increases, and that's part of where we get some of the error codes and it becomes an issue for us. And that's why this time that we're asking for to be able to work through those and get resources on addressing the error and hold codes would help us to be able to help more small businesses get that increase and address some of those concerns. Thank you for the question.
So that answer is a no. She hasn't helped anybody get an increase on their PPP loan due to the error codes. That was a simple no.
Ms. Frazier, anything you wanted to add on your end?
We have not had any seasonal businesses. We haven't processed any PPP loans for seasonal businesses for that increase. I can't speak directly to that. We have had a request only from 2 borrowers to increase their original loan. And part of the process is once it has been reported on the Form 1502 to the SBA, there is reluctance or there is quite a bit of pushback on actually processing that increase.
Basically, we've had a couple requests to increase the loan, but another no. Nope, reluctant, hesitant to touch anymore. That's not cool, man.
Okay. Well, thank you for that perspective. Something I'll be looking to follow up on. I would also like to just highlight that SBA issued a new interim final rule last week allowing sole proprietors or Schedule C filers to use their gross revenue to calculate their PPP loans. This was a welcome change, finally making PPP worthwhile for more of the smallest, most underserved businesses. But as Ms. Frazier noted in her testimony, borrowers who had already applied for the PPP loan before the rule are being left with a smaller amount and are not being made whole. SBA is claiming they don't have the authority to make this rule retroactive. And Madam Chairwoman, I know you share my view that sole proprietors who already took a PPP loan should be able to use their gross income. And I ask to be able to work with you and others together on a solution to make sure they're treated fairly. And so with that, thank you, and I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.
Support of, and then you said we should refer to your written testimony for some of the ideas and thoughts that you had along those lines. So I went to your written testimony and was wondering if you could expand, Ms. Frazier, on a couple of things. First draw increased eligibility, second draw eligibility, second draw use of proceeds, and the requirement that goes with that, as well as the Schedule C borrowers and Schedule C filers, the implications of that coming out of the SBA change.
Thank you. I will try to remember all those great questions that you have. So I will begin with the first draw borrowers. Right now, if someone were to apply for a first draw, they would not be eligible for a second draw, nor would they be able to spend the money in the 8-week period of time before the March 31st date. So maybe they didn't have an opportunity to do a first draw for whether the bank didn't support them or they didn't get the application in, wasn't aware. We really firmly believe that they should have an opportunity for that second draw to support their business. So expanding that time and giving them the time to spend the money as the rules predict. But also being able to go for an increase. Sometimes, for instance, in my testimony, I remarked about a Schedule C borrower who's a video production firm and sole proprietor. He outsources the help when he needs it. When he applied for his first draw, he only was able to access $4,000. He needed much more money in the round one to do that because his business was shut down. So we supported it with an SBA loan, express loan of $16,000. If the rules that are now in place for Schedule C had been in place at the beginning for him, he would have been eligible for that full $20,800. And it would now also be forgiven as well. So he is left today with a $16,000 SBA loan that we have termed out for him over a period of time. He did come back for a second draw, again, early in the process because his business is still impacted, but the rules changed. And so our suggestion is that businesses like that are able to come back and reapply using that new calculation. Is very important.
So there she was talking about getting a videographer extra money using the SBA Express loans that they also can provide. A lot of people don't know about that, but it's out there. If you want to go look at SBA, just go into their website and type in Express loans. Now, what we've heard, what you've been given here with this video is the inside of the committee hearing regarding the PPP loans, first round, second round, and what they're going through right now with the error codes and the frauds. It's also what you're seeing is when an investigation takes place, when they looking into fraudulent cases and how this is happening and what's going on with the monies. And this is all very boring, but the reality of it all is here, and you've probably gotten more education and information. So stay informed, keep the facts straight, and let's go ahead and keep moving forward with the PPP, getting our congressmen and women to, as I showed you in there, Sharice Davids was the congresswoman who has one of the co-sponsors. Also, there were a couple other players in that meeting who have also signed the HR 1533 bill. And if you noticed, the Velasquez is the chairwoman, the chairperson to the committee. She is one of those that were pushing for the CARES Act EIDL grant to be given to every small business. So with all these people in the same room, we have to understand that we are looking at something special here, and maybe something we could use to maybe get these folks together, these congressmen and women together, and say, hey, how about we move forward with the EIDL grant and ditch the just low income communities only for the $10,000, get them taken care of first, but then go ahead and move it on up to the middle class and upper class and the businesses that were also affected during this pandemic. Guys, with this said, I will let you go. Hopefully this is not too much on you right now, but this is the truth. I just want to get this out there as to where we stand with our ongoing hearings and what is going on. I know the investigation is supposed to be going forward, and but as we're seeing things trickle out, getting more information, it looks like just keep your prayers and your fingers crossed for those small businesses out there who really need the money and who need answers now. All right. Thanks again for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.